Once upon a time, there was the 30 Years' War. The 30 Years' War was caused by tension between Catholics and Protestants. Conflict in the Habsburg Kingdom of Bohemia also contributed. Those who fought in the war were Great Britain, Denmark, France, Bohemia, the Ottoman Empire, Russia, Spain, the Holy Roman Empire, Poland, and Germany. The Bohemian period began in 1618 when Ferdinand, the King of Bohemia, was crowned the Holy Roman Emperor. Calvinists didn't want to lose their religious rights, though, because of their new Catholic king. This started the Catholic Revolt, which began when 2 Catholic members of the Bohemian Royal Council were thrown from a window and fell into a pile of manure. This became known as the Defenestration of Prague. Ferdinand II then used his Holy Roman Empire to invade Bohemia. The Holy Roman Empire and Habsburgs crushed the Calvinist revolt. This became known as the Battle of White Mountain. Next was the Danish period, which began in 1625. Christian IV, the ruler of Denmark, supported the Protestants against Ferdinand II. Ferdinand then joined forces with Albrecht von Wallenstein, who raised an independent army of 50,000. Together they were able to defeat Christian, but the rebels took control of Prague and declared Ferdinand II deposed and elected a new king. This new king was Frederick V, who was a Calvinist. Frederick used his rule of the German Protestant Union to aid the Bohemian rebels as much as he could, but in 1629 the Treaty of Lubeck was signed, restoring Holstein to Christian V, but forced him to no longer intervene with German affairs. Next came the Swedish period in 1630. The Catholic victories had alarmed the Protestants everywhere. Ferdinand's victories also endangered the independence of the German princes. It was also a concern of whether French Bourbons would lose their power, seeing as the growth of the Habsburg power seemed to just be increasing. Now there was a new Protestant leader, and his name was Gustav Adolphus of Sweden. 1 year later, the Swedes had moved into Germany. France and Sweden had signed an alliance, and France ended the war against the Habsburgs. Emperor Ferdinand II then called on Wallenstein again to form a new army so he could regain some of his power. Though at the Battle of Lutzen, the Swedes then defeated Ferdinand and Wallenstein. Gustav Adolphus was killed in the fighting, and Wallenstein was assassinated just a few weeks later. Ferdinand's army then defeated the Swedes at Nordingen in southern Germany. All of this fighting led to the Treaty of Prague. The deaths of Gustav Adolphus and Wallenstein had exhausted the Holy Roman Emperor and the German Protestant princes, and in 1635 the Treaty of Prague was signed. It strengthened the Habsburg powers and weakened the German princes. The French period began in 1635 when Cardinal Richelieu wanted to weaken the Habsburgs and take the province of Alsace. Cardinal Richelieu was the chief minister of Louis VIII. The fighting between the Holy Roman Empire and Sweden, Germany, and France continued for some time until Ferdinand II's death in 1637. He was succeeded by his son, Ferdinand III, and peace negotiations began in 1641. There was little hope of peace until Cardinal Richelieu's death, though. Finally, peace was reached in 1648 by the Peace of Westphalia. This ended the 30 Years' War. Sweden ended up acquiring Western Pomerania, while Brandenburg was assigned Eastern Pomerania. The Dutch Republic and Switzerland's independence was formally declared as well. The Holy Roman Empire ended up losing some of its authority due to other countries gaining their independence, but the religious aspect of the war was finally solved by the Peace of Augsburg being expanded to include Calvinists, Lutherans, and Catholics. The consequences of the 30 Years' War include the dissolution of the Holy Roman Empire. Europe also became divided, and Protestants were mainly in the north and Catholics in the south. The Catholic Church has also lost quite a bit of power due to the newfound religious rights of Protestants. Crops and agriculture were destroyed as well, and the Swiss Confederation and the Netherlands became autonomous countries. France and Sweden became the forefront of European commerce as well. The Holy Roman Empire had lost its power and began its demise, allowing other countries to begin to take over. The end.